nice down here. More exhaust angle downward. We'll start selling the direction of travel. And it will hide the broken off fin. So that will sit here. That overextend or not? No, I don't think so. Or maybe. No. So. Get rid of that whole nupty. Oh yeah, that might look better if it's even further up. Maybe even here. Ooh, that could also work. But then, let me see. It's in concurrence. It's in competition with these shapes. Double overload that specific area. There we can't do. See, that doesn't look good. That overloads that. Put it down here. It doesn't overload that specific area. Yep. Now you see there's this line that is discontinued that we don't want. So we're just gonna make sure that is as wide as my saw. A little bit slave one character, doesn't it? From the general shape. We have to clean this up. It's going to be difficult without losing those rivets. Just gonna remove the rivets as well. It's a bit sad, but I can't clean it up. Sprue will fix that right up. But first, liberal sprue, too liberal. And then there's these two rivets down here. And I'm lining those up with the rivets on this one. That is just a little to sell the effect a bit better, so it looks more square in comparison to what the ox usually do, right? See how these 4 rivets here, how they make a square, and then how that rivet lines up with that rivet. Small things that have a little bit of impact. Bit of sprue on that crack or on that scratch. So while we're at it, let's just fix that enormous crack. From all the videos I've seen, I definitely use more thick sprue glue than some others, but you see I can fill that enormous crack just for sprue glue. This is probably not healthy. Yumzers. I should wear gloves. Then one sanding and then that will look good. Okay, we're trying to build a civilian here. So I was thinking of that guy. He's currently holding a weapon, but if we put this thing behind him, yeah, and then give him, I think he usually comes, yeah, with this thing. That's gonna connect him nicely in there. Yeah. The idea is this piece, the cape, is a very, very simple piece. Very simple. We will copy it with blue stuff. That's the idea. Alright, we have blue stuff that gets very soft. And then we get something that we can use as a very rough mold. Keep this one warm. Do this in the mold so that it can't really distort that much. This was an attempt without the mold and it distorts. So now we take the piece that we want, this piece, just press it down firmly and then kind of squish it in place. There we go. like this. Now we let it cool. I'm gonna put it in the freezer. While the blue stuff is hardening in the freezer, we want to get our other stuff that we need. So it's UV resin, and we need one of those cooling bricks from the freezer as well. Because UV resin gets hot, that will come in handy later. So what we do is we just fill up the mold, as you would with, if you milliput, you would squeeze in there, but this time we use UV resin. Move it around a bit so to make sure there's no air bubbles, and then take your UV torch and just blast it for a little bit. Here, make sure you keep the mold on the ice, and also make sure you have different angles with the light so everything gets cured. And then this was sped up obviously, but now we can just go to the mold and gently move it around, and then pop out. It's quite satisfying actually. Just pop out the piece that we just created. So yeah, that is nice. That is nice. Very nice release. It doesn't stick to the mold at all, as long as it's cured. And then look at this one. Yes, this might take a few tries. If you move it too early, you will have air bubbles in it. Something like sometimes if it heats too much, it expands a little bit, and then that creates bubbles or warping issues. Just you can go in thin layers over and over again, or just one massive blob as the last one I put down there. And it will expand a little bit while hardening, so keep that in mind. But the results are really nice. You can use this technique as often as you want with that blue stuff. Just make sure you keep it on the ice. Here I took it off to show it better how I harden it, and I harden it through the blue stuff because it lets UV light through a little bit. But by doing so, the UV resin gets hot, and the blue stuff gets soft when it gets hot. That's how you created the form in the first place, the mold in the first place. And now you see when I push it out, it all looks really nice. The piece is actually cured, and the piece was usable, but the mold sticks to it, and this is how you can only make one piece with it, right? So the mold is destroyed. All right, back to the build. I got these tiny hinges from the hardware store because I actually do want to make this model properly movable, properly almost playable. In the future I do want to go a little bit into the stop motion stuff, so I'm just trying out techniques how to make my stuff actually move. And here you see we have one of these chest doors, this engine bay, and I used these teeny tiny golden hinges to make the whole thing actually operational. I roughed them up with a filing or with a sandpaper, and then glued them in. But this worked really nicely. I mean, look at it. And the idea now is that I can put stuff into that engine bay. Also, maybe add more stuff from the outside to lock it up. Yeah, you see here, I put another hinge because I bought 3 hinges, so I was gonna use all of them for that bottom panel holding those main 2 engine bay doors in place. And I added a tiny little lamp in there, so when it opens, like not an actual lamp, but a model lamp. So when it opens, now the pilot he has light shining on what he's working on. Here you see that, and the mechanism is quite nice because this form. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure where that piece comes from. It folds very nicely over the engine bay. So you see, I can just fold it up. Yeah, that's nice. Also, it uses hot nails that I drive through the plastic, through the screw holes of the tiny hinges. Now you see the little guy in the cockpit. He has the clear resin body piece and his regular hat. I didn't give him the backpack that I was going to do in the beginning, but now I'm fixing these armor panel, and I think these are from this weird almost buggy like tank. I forgot, what's it called, something with T, Taurus maybe. Anyways, these armor pieces, they fit really nicely in here, so these are gonna be I'm gonna use them to build out the cockpit. Also, you see there's you need to have some sort of balance in the whole thing, and down here, for example, where the armor panel stops is too abrupt, and then you can just see the landing capsule center console. And now by putting in this thing from the speeder bike, I think it held like lamps or autocannons, it breaks up that distinct shape, and now you have like a transition between these two areas.